Hello and welcome to the morning show. Teeing off with RevSportz. A very good morning to all of you. I'm wearing the Australia jersey, but today is the ODI match India versus Australia, and I'm really very nostalgic. So that's why I'm wearing. We will discuss the ODI, but before that, to discuss the All England Open, of which have not been a very good day three for India. We have Boria Majumdar to discuss with us. Good morning, Boria.
Good morning.
Good morning. Not a very good day for India in the day three. Only Gayatri Gopichand and Tisha Jolie and Satvik Chirag. We were hoping. Yesterday also we talked about it. Where do you think they went wrong? 19-19, but then lost.
Yeah, I mean, and if you see, they won the first game 21-10, and the moment you sort of have command over the first game, and then in the second game, there were a few unforced errors, there were a few net misses, and in the third game, multiple times they were able to make a comeback. They had lost to Liang and Wang in Malaysia, and then this was the second time. At 19-all, one had thought that they would be able to close it. Also, you must remember that they had a lead going into the third game interval, which was about, I think they had an 11-7 lead or an 11-8 lead, and they were not about to, they were not about to sort of consolidate and close it out. Yes, Satvik was making a comeback from injury, so this was his first tournament. Keeping that in mind, because Chia and So had lost, if they had won yesterday, it would have opened the whole field up for them and they could have gone the distance. Nonetheless, close match, and look, clearly, if you see 19-all, anybody could have won. So they're right up there. It's just that they would have to sort of get past that final hurdle. They're a good side, but it was disappointing. Prannoy, for me, was a bigger disappointment because Prannoy played really well in the first game. He was up 20-17. And thereafter, he conceded 5 points to lose the first game 22-20. When you have a 2017 lead against a higher ranked Anthony Sinsuka Ginting, who is now number 2, number 3, you close it out. And Prannoy, again, if you look at the second game, was brilliant. So if he would have finished in the first 2 games, I thought Prannoy was my biggest kind of disappointment because Prannoy was extremely good and then lost out. And Srikanth against Narauka was partly along expected lines. Kodai Narauka at this point in time is a better player. So Srikanth, yes, there was some fight, at least in the first game till about 14-15, but then Narauka was in control. The real sort of frustration was with Lakshya Sen. If you see the way Lakshya Sen played in the first match and then yesterday, he gives these clusters of points and seems to have disappeared from the match. And then, despite having everything, an all-round game, he wasn't able to do well against Antonsen, and that was a problem. So you're right. Overall, not a very good day, but Satvik Chirag and Prannoy, one definitely expects will come back stronger. So will Lakshya. But yes, huge hope today, Rohan, with Gayatri and Gayatri and Triza. So it's the number 50 pair from China. Yes, they've done well, but certainly not in the top 10. That's certainly not that they cannot beat. If they win today, it will be back-to-back All-England semi-finals, which will be incredible for this pair. Against Sayaka Hirota and Fukushima, 2 of the legends of the sport, former world number 1, to be able to win in straight games. And they had lost a lead, 19-12 to 20-20. And then multiple times match point shows how improved they are in terms of temperament. Fantastic.
But overall, how would you rate this campaign for All England, for Indian contingent?
Disappointing. Because if you can't, I mean, your fancied men's singles players, Prannoy, Kidambi Srikanth and Lakshya couldn't go past the second round. One thought Satvik Chirag could go on and win this competition. And as I said, they should have won yesterday. Disappointing. Except Gayatri and Triza, it's been a disappointing campaign. But can Gayatri and Triza go the distance? I mean, perhaps go to the semi-final and then start thinking. Because if they do that, look, Rohan, somebody came to me and said 3 years back that, look, your one representation in the quarterfinal in All England will be women's doubles. I would have said, get lost. No chance. And all of a sudden, you are seeing this young pair. One is 20 and one is 19. That's their age. to see them beat top 10 players consistently, fabulous.
Absolutely. So we hope that they go past the quarterfinal round against China. And coming to the boxing world championship, how would you rate Nikhat Zarin's bout yesterday?
Very, very impressive. If you see the bout, and I was watching very closely, multiple standing counts in the first round itself. I think one, two standing counts for her opponent. Nikhat came sort of very aggressive, used her jab to perfection. She was extremely confident. No reason now. But again, she plays her most difficult bout against the Mediterranean champion, the Algerian number one, in the second round. So we've got to wait and see for that. But even the others, not simply Nikhat, all the others had a good start for India. So one expects again India to do well today as well, because there's a lot of Indian participation today as well.
Yeah, for today, we have three bouts. Jasmine in the 60 kg versus Beatrice Ambrose of Tanzania, and Shashi Chopra versus Teresia of Kenya in the 63 kgs, and Shruti Yadav versus Panso of China in the 70 kgs. So we have
Correct.
these three bouts. Yeah, and Devashish is also waiting for the discussion of the ODI. So can we please have Devashish?
Good morning.
Look
Good
at the
morning.
jersey. Look at the jersey, blue.
Yes.
Not the Bengaluru blue. Not the Bengaluru blue. India
True,
blue.
true. India.
India blue. And look at my jersey.
Australia. Why on earth are you wearing an Australian t-shirt?
So actually, these.
Have you ordered two Mohun Bagan jerseys for these two fellows?
Yeah, I will definitely present them. The moment
First you win. First you win, then we can talk about it.
reach the final, then you are relevant terms.
Okay. These banters will go on. In Goa also, there will be a very big carnival pre-match. We'll talk about that. But today, the ODI, much awaited ODI. I'm very nostalgic in this ODI because, when I was growing up, these ODI days were really very special for me. I used to skip school to watch these ODI matches. So this ODI, how important will that be? We have discussed it. Your thoughts on Wankhede? Not a very big ground. So what do you think that what should be the first inning score? Buryada, going to you first.
Now things have changed with ODIs. We've seen high scoring ODIs on Indian soil. So 300 is par. What is interesting for me is how India goes about the World Cup build-up, because 3 matches and then you play the IPL, then you play the WTC. So it's not as if you've got too many matches to get your team right. And we know that during the last T20, they experimented too much, and even during the World Cup, we didn't have a settled team. So they've got to go better. Devashish made this point, I think, yesterday, where he said Surya will step in for Shreyash, and that's perfect. That's something all of us are waiting to see. One needs to see how Hardik goes. Hardik has dismissed every rumor that he can play the WTC final. He isn't there. He said it won't be ethical for him. So this ODI World Cup on Indian soil, Rohan, will be India's best chance ever to win an ICC tournament. So it's as simple as that, on home soil. Not the WTC final. Oval, India will start underdogs. On home soil, India will have fantastic chance. Can they capitalize? We've got to wait and see.
A repeat of 2011, Devashish?
No, I think both the teams. If you look at this series, I think it couldn't have been a better series time, and it is happening in a World Cup year. Two of the best teams, and Australia, obviously they are a very potent side. Means any format given, means whether they are doing not, if they are not doing well as well, they are still a potent side, because you look at the lineup. David Warner, Travis Head opening the batting. Aaron Finch, since the 2019 World Cup, lot of things have changed for Australia. Aaron Finch is no more the captain. So in comes Travis Head, who scored at 152 against England, winning the series against England 3-0, and Travis Head opening the batting. So that puts immense pressure on Warner as well. So two power hitters at the top, Warner and Travis Head, followed by Smith, Labuschagne. You have a Cameron Green, and then Maxwell and Stoinis, Alex Carey. So you just think about that middle order. you have a Smith, Labuschagne, Carey, Green, Maxwell. So that's a very strong batting. Yes, as far as India, obviously, as Boriada rightly said in our last few discussions, focus will be on Jadeja and KL Rahul. KL Rahul will be a very integral part in this one day side. And remember, he has done well batting in number five, scoring almost 658 runs at an average of 50. So KL Rahul and number five, if he can keep wickets like the one like Rahul Dravid used to keep during the 2000, that will lend much balance to the Indian side. That will augur well for the Indian team because they can play in an extra ball depending on conditions. They can play in an extra fast bowler or a spinner or a batter
Yeah.
as well. So I think KL Rahul in this series will be very crucial for India's chances.
Okay. Boyada, coming to you, do you think it will be the toss will be important? Because if you look at Wankede's statistics, there is a 50-50 percentage of the team winning after batting first and team winning after batting second. Do you think the toss will be important?
It will also depend on the dew. If there is dew, then it's a whole different ball game, right? And when the dew sets in, it's a 1:30 start, which means about 5:30 is when 5:40 is when the second team will start batting. Too early for the dew to set in. Maybe around 7:30 the dew might just start to come in, which will be about what 25 overs, 25-30 overs in the second innings. And if the ball becomes soft then and it's difficult to grip, then obviously it will be a problem. So the team then chasing will certainly have an advantage if there is dew. Question is, we are seeing a lot of these WPL games. We've got to see how much dew will that have an impact, because otherwise, no. I mean, otherwise, Mumbai, that's why you have this 50-50 thing. So that will be one important aspect to look into. But as Devashish said, look at that Australian side. What a side. I mean, you have a Marcus Stoinis possibly might be sitting out, or a Cam Green, or a all-rounders of that caliber. It's a top quality side. So for India, this is great practice. Leading into the World Cup, you have to play and beat the best. So get your thing in order. One expects a Rohit Sharma to come back the next match because he's the boss. But Hardik Pandya, great opportunity once again to tell the world that he's a good captain. And for the T20 World Cup next year, one expects him to lead. So from that standpoint, for Hardik, it is a massive moment.
And just I would like to add one point as you just asked about how much will the team be looking to post. Australia in that last series that they won against India in 2020, they chased 256 in 38 overs at the same ground, Wankhede. 256 in 38 overs without losing a wicket. So,
Yeah.
and they are the only team to have won against India in a bilateral series in India, beating India after 2016. So that is also we kept in account. So Australia are a very potent side, even without the likes of Hazelwood and Pat Cummins, because I think this is more or less the World Cup side with them being added to the side. I think in one or two there will be a few tweaks here and there, but coming to India, obviously Shreyas Iyer again missing second consecutive series. He is and we don't know whether he's going to play in the IPL. At least first half of the IPL is definitely rolled out. When he's coming back, obviously on the fast bowling department, you don't have a Jasprit Bumrah, so Shami and Siraj looks to be the front runner. Obviously, you have a Shardul Thakur as well. And Hardik, we expect him to bowl as is the case in recent times. So for India as well, a lot to think about, because this will be the perfect preparations going into the World Cup. Because as Buriada said, after this 3-match one-day series, you hardly have any one-days.
Yeah,
2.5
absolutely.
months of IPL. 2.5 months of IPL, then you go back, then you go straight to Asia Cup after the World Test Championship final. So hardly any one-day series, so as to say.
Okay, so Boria, coming to you, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, they are the only two players currently playing to have 2,000 plus runs against Australia, and these two players only have 8 centuries versus Australia. So that's the maximum. So do you think these stats actually matter somehow to the players and also to the opponents?
Not on the day, but having said that, you obviously derive confidence. I mean, they are the two greatest players of the white ball game in the last decade, right? Virat Kohli is the greatest run chaser that perhaps India has ever seen. There's no question. I mean, he is one of the arguably the greatest run chaser that world ODI cricket has seen. And Rohit Sharma, look at his record: 500s in a World Cup in 19. And if anybody wants to win this World Cup more, it's Rohit Sharma as skipper. So these are two integral members, two champion players. When these two fire, we know what can happen. Virat is starting to look good. Rohit has looked decent in the test matches for sure. Can they convert? If these two are in form, half the job is done. Because then you will definitely see a KL Rahul pitch in, a Hardik Pandya pitch in, a Ravindra Jadeja pitch in, a Surya Kumar Yadav stepping in for Shreyash. But ultimately, look, you have to have your main players like a Steve Smith for Australia, a Virat Kohli and a Rohit Sharma for India. If these fellows don't perform, you don't win a World Cup. They have to put their hand up, and perhaps the last World Cup that they are playing. I don't see 2027 a Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli playing. I don't see that. So at least a 50 over World Cup. So this is their last opportunity. Virat has won one, Rohit has won no 50 over World Cup. He was not there in the team in 2011. So for him, this is the last opportunity to win a World Cup and close it out.
With Rohan's permission, I just have a question to you. Do you think India should play KL Rahul as a wicketkeeper batter in the one day
Yes, they
format
should.
from now on?
Yes, they should, because absolutely they should. Because look, who is your option? Your option is possibly an Ishan Kishan. Because see, gone are the days when a wicketkeeper would have first served as a wicketkeeper and then his batting would come. So a KS Bharat kind of prototype. That is not going to happen in one day cricket or even in T20 cricket. Not happening. Even in Test match cricket, it shouldn't happen because the format has changed. The model has changed. So who is India's best bet without Rishabh Pant? And had Rishabh Pant been there, this debate would be settled.
Absolutely.
But no Rishabh Pant. So your best bet is KL Rahul. Because he's a safe wicketkeeper, not the greatest wicketkeeper, but a safe wicketkeeper. And we've seen him do that. Make him keep. Make him keep because he gives you that extra match-winning balance in the middle order whereby you can play an additional batter or an additional spinner or an all-rounder in the middle and go with it. So on a difficult wicket where runs will happen, if you have an extra bowling option, because you could play a wicketkeeper batter in KL Rahul, absolutely. So in my mind, zero two ways. And no Hardik Pandya means in the WTC also, it should either be an Ishan Kishan or a KL Rahul, not KS Bharat. Go with, it's a one-off game. It's not difficult to keep, ball will not be up and down. So try, yes, I know that a drop by the wicketkeeper might be very costly. But think about it, and Ishan Kishan comes and scores a 40 of some 30-40 balls, or a KL Rahul in the middle order walks out, and you have, who's there? KL Rahul. So all of a sudden you have that extra bit of edge in your batting. So absolutely you should persist with this.
And obviously sorry, because I have a lot of points to discuss. Obviously, another bone of contention will be who opens the batting once Rohit comes in from the second ODI. Will it be Ishan Kishan, left-hander, right-hander, or you stick with Shubman Gill, both of whom have scored double hundreds in ODI format?
It's unfortunate that Ishan will have to miss out. But yes, it has to be Rohit and Shubman at this point. It's unfortunate that Ishan will miss out. But if Rohit comes back, it's Rohit and Shubman. And then Surya steps in for Shreyash. Because, the rest of the spots sort of fill themselves. But it's good to have a backup as good as Ishan because he also is left-handed. So you have a right-left combo. And that's how you go about your business. It's a big match for Ishan also. Every match that Ishan gets, whether it's now or in the IPL, for him, it's a claim that I'm good enough to play Test cricket. I'm good enough to play international cricket. I'm good enough to play the World Cup. Give me my opportunity. So for him, he's been inconsistent. We have seen how much talent he has. So it is important for him to consistently score like a Rohit or a Virat did to become a great. So that's what, like a Shubman has started to do. Look at the consistency that Shubman has started to show. That is why we are all saying Shubman Gill, Shubman Gill, Shubman Gill. So Ishan has to do that.
Absolutely. So Devashish, coming to bowling, do you want to see Umran Malik get a chance?
Not
We
for
have
the
seen his
first,
pace.
not for the first ODI. I would see an experienced Mohammad Shami and Mohammad Siraj sharing that new ball, and you have an Hardik Pandya as well. And if India choose to play in an extra simmer, then they might well go in with a Shardul Thakur ahead of a Kuldeep Yadav. Because if you look at the playing order, the most likely playing order, it will be Shubman and Ishan opening the batting, followed by Virat, then Surya, then KL, Hardik. So these are the top six, followed by Jadeja, number 7. Number 8, Washington Sundar. Obviously, won't. I don't think they would play Akshar Patel because both Jadeja and Akshar left-arm spinners. So Washington Sundar, an off spinner in the side. Kuldeep Yadav or Shardul. It will be a toss between Kuldeep Yadav or Shardul Thakur as to who makes it to
Okay.
that 11, depending on the condition, and Shami and Siraj. Yes, you might give an
Absolutely.
opportunity to Imran because there are two more matches. And remember, this is not part of the WSL either, World Series League. So it's so both of teams will have lot of experimentation. Obviously, with key positions, they can actually look at the options, and maybe this is the right series.
Okay, Buryada, your bowling combination. Umran Malik gets a chance.
I think what he said is right. I would have gone with the only thing that I would say, he said one between Kuldeep and Shardul. I would have gone with Kuldeep because you need wicket takers. Kuldeep is not one who's played the Test series, so he'll be unknown commodity. Australians haven't gotten used to him. And if we see, he's done well, even in the recent past in ODI cricket. He's bowling faster, he's more confident now. And, a bowler, somebody of Kuldeep's ability, who can sort of get the ball to turn, proper rip off the ball is always a handful. Shardul, yes, with lower order batting, but if you're playing a Washington Sundar at 8, you don't need lower
Absolutely,
order batting.
absolutely.
So,
Fair point.
you've
Fair
got a Jadeja at 7, a Washi at 8, a Washi opens. And look at how improved as a batter he is. Then go in with whoever is a better bowler or a better wicket taking option.
Absolutely.
So I would think it's a Kuldeep Yadav.
Perfect.
Okay. So we will have this ODI conversation in the pre-match live show also from the studio. We'll all be there. And before we end this show, finishing notes from both of you. Team winning the toss, what should they do? Chase.
I would say post a total. Means obviously, as Oria the rightly said, due factor might come in. If due factor does not come in, then it negates that advantage. Means then obviously the team batting second also will have given chance. But then any day I would say bat first, post a total, because if India can post an excess of 200, 300 about, we'll have a very very interesting match.
I want to see Virat Kohli chasing the run. Buryada, your thoughts?
In what Devashish said, in pressure games, it's always good to post a total. Having said that, it will depend on conditions. It will depend what the sort of management believes, because, and you know what? Going into the World Cup, you should be prepared for every kind of situation. Whether you chase, whether you not chase, whether it's due, whether it's no due. Suppose you are playing a World Cup semi-final and there's due. Will you say because of due I lost? How does it matter? You've lost.
And when
And
the
that is
World
the
Cup is
problem.
there will be due.
There
Ahead
will
of
be
winter,
due,
there
because
will be.
it's October, November. There might be due. Nobody
Yeah.
knows. I mean, you don't play for weather, but you have to be ready. Whether it's 10 for 3, then you still have to be ready for a 280 score. Whether it, like Rohit Sharma told us at one point,
Yeah.
see, on home soil, no excuse, boss. This is your best chance. Go win. You don't win. 2013 onwards, you have not won an ICC tournament. You are a financial nerve center of the world game. You have all the monies, so no excuses. So all this talk, India is a great side, etc., is all rubbish if you do not win ICC tournaments. This is not Test cricket. This is a white ball format. In Test cricket, a bilateral series against England or Australia is as important, if not more important. For us, this Australia series was as important, if not more important, than the WTC final. But in a bilateral ODI contest, sorry, the World Cup is the most important. So you've got to go win ICC tournaments. And for that, You get your preparation right, go deliver there. To win these and then go choke in the ICC semi-finals will not work anymore.
Absolutely.
And that the team knows, the fans know, the board knows, everybody knows. So from that standpoint, this is a very important season for preparation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you, gentlemen, for joining. We'll join again in the pre-match show from the studio. So keep watching Red Sports. We have lots in store for the day. Thank you.
Devashish, did you see